JOBY. It's doing this competition. Here you go. By submitting your most creative video, you can win the opportunity to make a video with Casey in New York. I haven't been lately to the United States, particularly to Manhattan, but I couldn't meet him and I really wanted to. I really love the city, so I want to come back. I happen to live in Mainhattan, which is the German version of Manhattan. I want to show you what it's like to live in Mainhattan compared to New York City and Manhattan, where Casey lives and where I've been recently. I'm really hoping to go back with JOBY. Babe, I'm going to do the groceries.
Okay.
While Manhattan never sleeps, Frankfurt and Main sleep sometimes, especially on Sunday. All supermarkets are closed, and that's why Saturday is the day for groceries. Let's start with transportation. We personally use bicycle for everything. Grocery is done. Now it's coffee time. And now we're finally ready to go downtown. Here we are. This is the tile. One very typical thing in Germany, probably differ than New York City, the week market. They are a local producer of vegetables. They sell meat. They sell sausages, cheese, all typical stuff from here. I'm around a little bit with Désirée, my girlfriend. So I told her, if you don't stop giving me bad advices, I'll do like Casey and fire you like he did with Candice.
You can't fire me if you haven't hired me yet.
I have a smart ass girlfriend, what can I say? Like in New York, we have Dunkin' Donuts. I think this is the only one in the city. You basically go once a year there to get a donut, because the real thing that you have in Germany is called Berliner. Basically like a filled donut, pretty much. Behind me, it's my tile, one of the most popular malls of the city, made by Italian architect Massimiliano Fuxas. I literally don't like it. It looks like a The city is quite loud, exactly like New York. It's starting to rain pretty heavy. The weather is quite similar. Our winters are not that cold. We don't have those like crazy snowstorms. So we definitely couldn't snowboard here, pulled by a car. I came here kind of like unauthorized. It's this roof terrace where sometimes there are parties and you can come and party here. And it just looks amazing. You can see the skyline. This is Hauptbahnhof. This is what it's considered to be the Times Square of Frankfurt. It's where it's like this pulsing core between the locals and between the tourists in the city. It has this kind of similar vibe in sort of a German sauce. If the typical food for the United States of America is Mexican, in Germany is Turkish. So we don't have burritos, but we have döner. We also have Starbucks coffee like in the States. There is the German stock market and the German statues of the bull and the bear. After we have visited all of these places, I got a little hungry. In New York, it's very popular to get like hot dog from one of those hot dog stands, which are quite iconic. We don't have that here, but it's very popular to go on Saturday in this historical shop which sells these specific sausages here in Frankfurt, and it's really tasty. As you can see, this place is so popular that what you see behind me, it's all the line to the entrance. It's crazy. We're just waiting. The lady that is serving the sausages, it's called Frau Schreiber. She's here since 1958. She's selling these sausages to the people who come here from all the corners of the world. Philadelphia. It's It's like this big sausage, a bread, and a pickle. Let's go out here so I can eat it. Let's try the first bite. You have to eat it with a pickle and some bread. We're done with eating. During World War II, Frankfurt was completely bombarded and destroyed. They didn't have anymore the typical downtown that they had before the war. So now they have constructed this new area called the New Old Town, which is basically newly constructed but old looking part of the city, which I want to show you. This is something that you don't have really in New York. You have it only here in Frankfurt, in Germany. This was one of the most iconic squares in Frankfurt. It's called the Römerplatz. There is currently a demonstration against the oppression in Iran. Germany, after so many years and after the past it has had, it has turned into this multicultural country and allows this form of free speech, showing what is your political position, your sexual orientation, living your diversity. Have like the small version of the Brooklyn Bridge. One major difference with the Brooklyn Bridge is that you're allowed to put the love lockets on the bridge. On the Brooklyn Bridge you're not. One of the most beautiful characteristics of the city of Frankfurt is that you always have this sort of contrast between the new and the old, historical and modern, glass and stone. I love this contrast of the city. I have arrived in the downtown. What you can see on my side, it's the old ECB, the oldest European Central Bank. One of the most iconic areas where everybody takes a picture is the Euro sign. In order to complete the sort of Frankfurt am Main Manhattan light experience, we gotta get the subway, because the subway is such a symbolic thing in New York. And I also have to go back to the bike, which it's gonna take a while if I'm gonna walk. So here we are at the starting point, and here it is where we left it. And now I'm taking you at this special place where we'll have this amazing view at this time of the day. I arrived here. This is called Hafen Park. This is one of the coolest park, and it reminds me a lot of those New York basket courts. But what we are doing right now is going on over that bridge right over there. From that bridge there is the greatest view on the Frankfurt skyline. This is probably the most iconic view on the Frankfurt skyline that you can get on here.
It's not as gigantic and as huge as the New York skyline, but I think for the European standards it's really beautiful and well proportioned. It's a very livable city. You can walk around, bike around, skate around. As you saw, it's very similar in that sense to New York. Probably doesn't have the same spirit and it doesn't have the same people, but that doesn't make it worse. And these weekends, they're characterized by this international spirit all around the streets. You will hear mostly English and all kind of other languages. It makes it very international. It makes it like a small Apple in the core of Europe. Exploring and roaming the city was wonderful, but I think that after this long excursion through the city, now it's really time to go home. It's just time to try to make some sort of a sum up of the day and see what is the conclusion.
So here we are back in the studio. What is the conclusion of the day? In my opinion, the conclusion is it doesn't matter where you live, whether it's Frankfurt, New York or another city. It's more important with who are you spending your time and if you're happy while doing it. Most important is to find the person or job or the thing that makes you happy. That's the conclusion of the whole video. Don't film me anymore.